I'm Robert Caldwell. I'm the owner of Caldwell Cigar Company. Actually, so that's one of the ones that I found kind of difficult when you leave me the questions. There's not very much that embarrasses me. I think that I take most things in stride that other people might find embarrassing. But the one thing that I really dislike or I have a hard time is when people either thank me or tell me that I did a good job, or any type of like positivity is embarrassing to me. So if I don't know, if I do something for somebody or I give somebody something or something happens where they have to say thank you, I get very weird, and I'm not good at accepting thanks from anybody, and I'm also not good at any type of gratitude expressed towards me, or if people like my cigars or things like that, I kind of get shy. That's a great question. I would probably, and this is where Matt and I are very similar, I would buy somewhere completely off the grid that nobody know where I was, that I could escape to. Yeah, if it was free money, I'd buy something like that was just, with no cause or no purpose whatsoever, but just somewhere to get away. And not a vacation property on a beach somewhere. I mean, I'm talking somewhere like in the middle of nowhere. I had one time I went on a road trip with a friend of mine, and we drove from Zurich to Turkey with a compass. So we didn't mean to. We went with a map, but then the map didn't work. And then he had navigation in his car, but the navigation turned off once we got, I guess, through Austria. And then we just kept heading south. And so we effectively went with a compass. And on my way back from that trip, we were either in Kosovo or Albania, and we stopped at a little roadside cafe, and a woman read the coffee. Like she gave us a coffee, and then she read the grounds. And she didn't speak English, but she spoke German, because I think a lot of German, mining industry and stuff is down in the Southern Balkans. And then so I had asked him what she said, and she says, you're going to get to a fork in the road of life, and if you're not prepared, something bad's going to happen to you. So I just kind of took it in stride, and I thought that was a weird thing, but whatever. And then we went on our way. And then several years later, I was in Michigan here in the US, and I had met a girl that was from Albania or Kosovo or Bosnia or wherever, but a Balkan girl. And her next door neighbor invited us over to her house, and then she gave us coffee, and then she read the grounds, and she told me the exact same thing that woman had said, like verbatim, word for word. It was very weird. And so I don't know if I've gotten to that crossroads yet in life, but the message was, if you're not prepared, you're going to die. And then if you are prepared, you're not going to notice, but then you'd never know had you been prepared. So it's a very interesting thing, but it was two women, two different parts of the world, both of them coffee grounds, and it was word for word what they both had to say. So hopefully I'm past that. Myself and my company, we do a lot of charitable stuff. We don't advertise it. We don't vocalize it in any way, but on a lot of the cigars that we manufacture, there's a small sticker that'll say that a portion of the proceeds of what we're doing go to benefit people less fortunate than us. And then also I have another brand, which we don't sell in the United Kingdom, but we sell here in the United States, which is called Lost and Found. And so that's found cigars from other manufacturers that kind of fit our favorite profile. And they're usually very, very aged cigars. And so we've done a lot of projects where all the proceeds from those projects go towards charity. And I think that we started doing that really hard at the beginning of last year during coronavirus, when it's really started kind of causing problems. And we started with food banks and soup kitchens and things like that in the US. And then we got into Toys for Tots, giving gifts to underprivileged families for Christmas holiday. We did one for the Thanksgiving holiday here, where we fed families Thanksgiving dinner, which obviously is a very important American holiday. And then we did one for a foundation for 9/11 first responders. And we've continued to do them for urban education and all sorts of different things. So that's something that I'm very proud of, because I think that when we started that initiative, it was actually inspired by Richard Branson. I read a book by Richard Branson that the argument was, for an individual to do something charitable is a very short-lived, kind of like non-effective way of doing anything. But if you set up a business that has built into it charitable components, that business can outlive you and your charities, and it can do something much greater. And the kind of correlation was, if you're in an airplane, the airplane's going down, it says to put the mask on yourself before the person next to you, because you have to protect yourself first. So his argument was effectively, if you can give $100 or $1,000 or whatever amount of money it is, that's a one-time thing that can actually adversely affect you, because maybe it puts you in a position where you feel like you can't do more. But if you're in a position where you're capable to build something into a business, and then that on itself can continue to turn and move forward, you can do a lot greater things. So we incorporated that at the beginning of last year, and I'm not sure, to the effect that it was felt. And we don't like to talk about the dollar amount or the financial impact that we had, but last year alone, we fed over 100,000 hungry people in the United States. We gave gifts to, I think it was something like 4,000 children over the Christmas holidays. We fed, I think, about 3,000 families during Thanksgiving holiday. We gave a ton of money to the 9/11 First Responders Foundation. So we did really good things, I think, to a point where it's something that we're very proud of. And I think that when I started realizing how big it was when we started having people from these organizations that we were working with reaching out to us saying, hey, if you're in the area, we want you to tour our facility, or we want you to talk to the president of the organization. And I think that we thought that we were doing it in a small way, because it's cigars. It's not like, it's something that you're selling a ton of and you're making this huge splash. But I think that we were able to do enough that it got to a point where it was recognized as something very, very more impactful than we thought it had been when we planned it. And so I think that that's something that I'm very proud of, and that I've never really spoken about, because I don't like, like I'd said on question one, is people are like, hey, good job. And to me, it was something to start doing because I felt like I should do it. And then again, it's not me that's actually doing it. So, the people that are aware of what we do, they say, hey, it's great. I love that you support the charities and you do all this stuff. And we don't do it. The consumers do it. So people that buy our products that have those correlated charitable opportunities, they do so very much because we're supporting the charities. So it's really passed through from us onto the consumer. And so it's the consumers that are supporting. But that's something that I'm very proud that we've executed on, that we've been able to do, I think, a tremendous amount of good. And then we don't talk about it because we don't like to be complimented. I'd fly to Russia and I'd follow Vladimir Putin around. I'd spend a very quiet day in the life of Vladimir Putin. There's a flamenco song that's called Rockin' Gypsies. That's amazing. That's Willie. It's Willie and Lobo are the artists. It's the most amazing song. And I feel like that would be the song that would be played like either in my greatest victory in life or at my funeral. So I feel like that should be probably the theme song of my life. Very little, but a lot at the same time. My fridge, I guess, my wife she eats a lot of fruits and vegetables. So there's a lot of fresh produce always in our fridge, but I'm like less keen on that. But I have a lot of sauces, pestos, kind of things to season things that I buy with. So if you open my fridge, there's a lot of different marmalades. I have a ton of cheeses, actually. I have a lot of cheese. And then pestos, different spices, sauces, just a collection of things to season my food with. I'm actually bad at almost everything. I'm very good at a few things in life and in business. There's 2 or 3 things that I'm very good at, and then I'm very bad at most other things. And so, I don't know. I'm very disorganized. I think I'm a bad manager. I'm a good leader, but I'm a horrible manager. I'm also very bad at following through on things. So I have like a very short attention span. So I start a lot of things and finish very few. But then I've gotten very good at delegating. So I'll start something, and then when it's kind of has that foundation and the walls up, I'll have somebody else, finish it off. So I've gotten to a point where I've become very good at finding people to finish what I start. But I think from an outsider looking in, if you knew me and you looked at my life, it would appear that I'm very good at a lot of stuff. But I'm so bad at so many things that I've become very good at finding people to help me do what I'm bad at, and then it makes it look like I'm good at it. But I don't know, you name it. There's very few things that I do very well. What's that stuff that you guys put on bread in the morning? Marmite? That is horrible. That's something I tried it. I don't understand it. And then I tried Vegemite in Australia, and I also don't understand that. And I think that's one of the very few things in life that I've tried. I like almost anything food wise, and that's something that I just don't understand at all.